Om Shri Mahalakshmi Namah. Om Shri Mahalakshmi Namah. Om Blessed Self in all adorations. Diwali or Deepawali literally means rows and rows of lights. The festivity when people in India celebrate by kindling lamps, earthen lamps fed with oil, and a wick burns. From one lamp, countless lamps are lit up, and villages, cities, temples, banks of rivers, a house where there is more joy, there will be more light. A house there is lesser joy, you will see lesser light. Light is a symbol of joyousness. Prior to the festivity, people go through a lot of work, preparing the house, removing all the old dirt of the years, putting things in order, perfect cleanliness. And then that night of Deepawali, so many lights are kindled and there is great rejoicing. It is symbolic of attaining internal prosperity. If that symbolism is not understood, then what happens? You have lit up your home for a night, and afterwards there is darkness. You should light up your home, and more so, you should light up your inner life. The inner home where the heart should be illumined by devotion, wisdom, divine virtues. These are the lamps that can illumine the inner personality within you. And if you are internally illumined, that's the greatest Deepawali you could celebrate. Scriptures have given a prayer, Tamaso ma Jyotirgamaya, from darkness lead me to light. Prosperity implies movement towards light. Let me give you some scriptural stories that relate to Diwali. First, Deepawali is celebrated because on this particular day, Lakshmi was married to Vishnu. The story is that Milky Ocean was churned, and through the churning process there arose many things, and there arose Lakshmi, goddess of prosperity. All the gods began to gaze at Lakshmi, each with the wish, may Lakshmi accept me. Only Vishnu didn't look at Lakshmi. And Lakshmi looked around and saw there was only one personality not looking at her. And she placed her garland on Lord Vishnu, accepted him as her consort, husband. The symbolism behind it is, if you want to be truly prosperous, you must learn the art of detachment, anasakti. Anasakti is the secret of spiritual advancement. And it has a grand philosophy. For complete understanding of it, you have to study the Gita. But in brief, what it implies, if you are living a balanced life day by day, harmonizing yourself. If you are harmonized in your body, you become detached from your body. If you are harmonized with your senses, you become detached from your senses. If you are harmonized with your mind, you go beyond the mind. Harmonization occurs through sattva. Sattva is purity. Purity is represented in the scriptures as the milky ocean. So first you have to generate sattva. Generating sattva means turning to good association, cultivating good qualities, keeping the mind free of anger, hatred, greed, allowing your whole personality to be integrated. That way you develop sattva. As sattva develops, a spirit of detachment enters within you, which means, which is same as saying a spirit of freedom. Internally you are not leaning upon any situation, any action, any external condition. And when you are the master of your circumstances, the master of your situations, Lakshmi is drawn to you in abundance. But when you are craving, may I have this, may I have that, oh God, if I don't have it, how am I going to survive? Then Lakshmi turns away from you. A humorous story is also told that once Lakshmi appeared before a devotee. But her appearance different from what he has been worshipping. Appearance was totally different. Lakshmi came, sores on her forehead and swollen toes. And the devotee asked Lakshmi, "Oh goddess, what's this?" She said, "All those people who crave for me, they turn to me with craving, I go on kicking them. That's why these toes have become swollen. And those who do not crave for me, I go on bowing at their threshold. Please accept me," placing my forehead again and again at the front door. And that makes my head sore. So, it is not by craving, but then you may cite many examples in this world. People who became so prosperous because they craved for wealth. And they worked for wealth by hook and by crook. And they amassed a lot. Didn't they succeed? True. Only superficial. The healthy concept of prosperity must be understood. It is not becoming a possessor of wealth that makes you wealthy, but wealth that you possess which is related to your inner advancement. That makes you really wealthy. A wealth that you possess does not relate to your inner advancement, but rather blocks your inner advancement. Then you are not prosperous. Internally, you are ever restless, ever insecure. No amount of wealth can make a person feel contented. No amount of wealth can make a person feel secure. So, and further, no amount of wealth can make a person better, a better personality. If you have a sharp and bitter tongue, No amount of wealth can make the tongue sweet. Even ordinarily, no amount of sugar can make a sharp-tongued person sweet. What I am trying to tell you that wealth should become instrumental in helping a person to be better, to have divine qualities. Wealth should allow you to do good karmas, to be able to promote happiness and harmony in the world, and should allow you to develop within your own heart a process of devotion, inquiry leading to liberation. If wealth does not do that, then that wealth has come to a person like a curse. To the masses, it is wonderful. But masses' standard is not authentic standard. So, also in the Hindu tradition, Lakshmi is shown riding on an owl. In some areas and in another context, Lakshmi rides on the Garuda bird, because Lakshmi is the consort of Vishnu. Riding on an owl means if you allow prosperity to block your inner advancement, you become an owl. And Lakshmi rides. There are lots of wealth is drawn to people who are owls. They don't know what to do with it. And when there are lots of owls, the light is not worshipped. It is darkness that is worshipped. Owls do not know where light is. The sun doesn't exist for the owls. In other words, if wealth dominates the mind of a person, there is materialism, a lack of faith in God. It is a worship of darkness. On the other hand, if wealth becomes a means for your inner advancement, then Lakshmi rides on Garuda bird. If you are allowing your wealth not to block your movement, simply because you have wealth, that doesn't mean that you can stay with your irritability, with your anger, with egocentricity. If you have wealth, you should do something about your inner personality. If the inner personality has not become wealthy, what's the use of all the external wealth? If the inner personality becomes wealthy, when you have divine wealth with you, joyousness, humility, control of temper, good-heartedness, ability to adjust and adapt with people, love, cosmic love, all these things are inner wealth. That inner wealth must develop. So, true prosperity is to have a balance of the inner wealth and the outer wealth. And inner wealth must be given a greater emphasis. Outer wealth must be subservient to your inner wealth. Then you are truly prosperous. If you do not have that, you are not prosperous. Being prosperous has hardly any dignity in this material world. A person may not have worked hard at all, and overnight he can win a lottery and become a multi-millionaire. There is hardly any dignity in just becoming wealthy. It is the inner wealth that makes you dignified. So, keeping that in view, turning to the story I was pointing out, Lakshmi married Vishnu. Vishnu, who was the embodiment of detachment. So when you have a balanced movement, you begin to discover you are spirit, not the body. And within your heart, you begin to discover boundless peace and joy, a dimension of freedom that cannot be experienced anywhere in the world. And when you have that movement towards increasing freedom, increasing light, increasing joy, you are drawing all prosperity in from this world, all that is best. In turn, you become like a flower, wafting the fragrance of prosperity. If you are prosperous, you radiate prosperity. And prosperity means you make people joyous, you make people inspired, you share the strength of your soul, the joy of your heart, the peace that you experience within yourself. And in this form of sharing, there is no restriction. Material wealth has limits. If you give away material wealth without proper calculations and proper consideration, the material wealth will diminish. Spiritual wealth never diminishes. Material wealth stays only up until this present personality exists. After death, you cannot carry it. Spiritual wealth, you carry it. Another parable that is told, rather the story, is that Narakasura was destroyed by Krishna, and Deepawali is a celebration of the destruction of Narakasura. Naraka means in Sanskrit hell. A demon who is the embodiment of hell. Krishna destroyed that demon. Who is that demon? Ego in an individual. Ego within you is not your identity. That is not really you. The disbalanced mind, a mind that is not enlightened, evolves ego, and you become centered on your ego as if this is me. This leads to numerous experiences of hellish nature. Divine Krishna, who is the embodiment of love and wisdom, destroys that. When ego is destroyed or transcended, there is immense joy, and Deepawali is the celebration of that joy. It also refers to Rama's victory over Ravana. In Ramayana, Rama destroyed Ravana. Ravana represents ignorance, and all the demons represent many ramifications of ignorance. Rama's victory over ignorance is the potential victory, rather the victory that ought to be attained by every individual on the spiritual path. Victory which is the goal of every individual. That victory was dramatized in Rama's life. And so, when you reflect upon the mystic meaning of Deepawali, you are led to understand that within your heart lies the light of all lights, which is the divine presence. By developing divine qualities and by living your life in a balanced manner, a life based on dharma, you can follow that path where there is increasing light. Light, we began with the physical light, but you move into the spiritual light, the light of knowledge, the light of love, the light of enlightenment, the light that is God. And having attained it, you have truly celebrated Deepawali. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.